Got it.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kate Carter, and I am from the International Institute of Minnesota. And I'm here to talk to you about a course that I've been teaching for about a year now called Professional Leadership Training. We can go to the next slide. And this is our team. I'm the furthest one on the left, and then the supervisor, the program manager is Lynn Thompson. Anna Peter is our employment navigator. The way we work it is, I am the teacher of the leadership class, and then when students finish the leadership class, we work with them for about a year, helping them with employment. That was where we just hired Anna because it got to be too much for what we could do. So we have now Anna and Lynn, and all of us continue to work with our leadership students after I teach the course. All right, next slide. So this course is a 12-week course. It's 108 hours. So really what we do is we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 hours at a time. We vary it so that this summer it's afternoon. This fall we're going to make a morning. And then this winter it will be in the evening. We try to make it at different times of the day to accommodate our students' work schedules. So the people to take this course are foreign-born students. They have to have worked at least 6 months in the US or have an advanced foreign degree. And we'll talk about that as we go. But this is a unique group of students. They have an advanced English. We will take anyone, but we tell them that the work that we do in this course really requires advanced English. And we have a high flex teaching model. What we do with that, we've just started, is I will be in person and the students who can come are in person. And then we also have students online. We got a tool called the OWL, and it's actually OWL, to help us with this, and it's very helpful. In fact, I don't think I would teach HighFlex without it. It's so wonderful. It sits on the table, and it'll follow and give close-ups to the students when they're talking. So everyone on Zoom is on the screen behind me, and they can share with their students. It's a remarkable thing. The OWL will follow me, or it'll follow the students. And we feel like because we see each other and we can talk to each other, it's just a wonderful thing. So teaching this HighFlex, I've only been doing it this first time this summer. And what I've been reporting is it is doable as long as you have some way for students to interact. Therefore, the people in the classroom are not on Zoom. They're just with me, and we communicate through the OWL. Any questions on that, just let me know as we go. It was a new thing, and it was pretty exciting to do that. The next slide is about why we have leadership training. It came out because we found there were so many people who needed help because they were already working, but they couldn't go advance in their careers. So under Desire to Advance, entry-level employees wanting to be a supervisor or manager, but needing technical skills like digital literacy, advanced English writing, and managerial skills. That's really the heart of it. The employers like this because they know that we're giving their people the tools that they need to become managers. We see students promoted during the class because the students learn things and get confidence and figure out how to operate in that work site. Confidence entry-level employees and foreign trained professionals reported not knowing how to promote themselves, how to network, and feelings of isolation in the workforce. Often my students say they're the only one who speaks more than one language. They're the only one who speaks their own home language. They don't know how to get promoted because it's really by culture. How do you show people what you can do and do it appropriately? How do you show people your skills? So it's really, really good for the cross-cultural aspect. And the opportunity is adults want to advance in their careers without having to go back to college. They can go back to college depending, but they can also advance in this career or get another job with this all of this information under their belts. So what I'd like to do now is move to a Jamboard, and I'll share my screen. And I will put in the chat the Jamboard, because what I'd like to ask you is, how were you mentored into the leadership position that you're in now, or just in the role that you've had? How were you mentored into your role? Because that's what we had to think about. How should we do that? If you click on the link in the chat, it'll take you right to Jamboard. So I will make one that I see in the chat, but if you click on the link in the chat, it'll take you to Jamboard. Can you all see it? Ah, student teaching, yes. Trial by fire, isn't that the truth? Okay, move these around. If you look at these, this is really important, I think, because it tells us, well, how did we get here? We need to do this for our students. People are not, oh, so you put it in chat. Okay, I didn't realize that there's a limit on Jamboard. Learning by doing, we have displaying strengths as part of my job. All of that is exactly what we're used to in this culture. But if you look, so many of these, volunteering with a mentor, professional development, I see it. The coordinator, it was in my position before me, was kind enough to train me before retiring. Student teaching is that one-on-one mentor. And if you'll look, all of these, I hope you can see them. The biggest thing I see, encouraged to leave, I was encouraged and allowed to a leave of absence to complete advanced degree, positive feedback observation, peer mentoring, members of my professional organization. Most of these, so many of these are pointing to someone helped me, someone mentored me, someone encouraged me, someone, if nothing else, just, oh, I see a big one here. I can't get it. That one, I think if I can, yeah, I can't see that one. And then if you look at the other ones, asking questions, being able to be available, so many of those things are difficult if you are questioning your own status and ability in this. So really the way we look at it with this leadership class is we're going to mentor them, be that one-on-one, and we're going to mentor our students so that they can get the confidence, they can understand the United States workforce, they understand how to get promoted, how to train employees, how to give feedback. So many parts of the workforce that apply to anybody is what we teach in this class. But I look at this list, and it's a wonderful list, and I think, okay, I think that's what we are. My supervisor taught me everything I needed to know. Education professors, role models, other teachers, supervisors, that's sort of our role, I believe, is that I'm here to support you, take your questions, and talk to you about the fundamentals of working in the US. And it's across culture, across age, across career. We have students from all different backgrounds, and I'll talk more about that as we go along. But we have students from all different backgrounds, meaning cultural backgrounds, academic backgrounds, languages, everything. And we pare it down to, well, what do you need to know in the United States? So I think this list is tremendous. It's the volunteering, I see a lot of hard to do. You know, when you're just getting here, although we encourage internships and volunteering to find out and to get your foot in the door. That's the part of networking we talk about a lot in this class. Christine, I think we can go back to the thing. I love this, but I think we can go back and start talking about the curriculum, because there I was going to stop. The curriculum is really going to tell you, I think, where it is, you know, what we do. So this is just a piece of it. So emotional intelligence, I actually start with this topic, and it is a barn burner, because first of all, most people haven't heard of it. And then when you start talking about how we treat each other, what self-awareness we have, all these other things, everybody jumps in. It's a great opening to get people talking. So under emotional intelligence, we do actually do an EQ, we do an assessment. We also do a lot about leadership in the beginning of the class. What type of leader are you? And then we talk about leaders, supervisors we've all had. Where are they? It's that whole thing about understanding that you have to look at the other person. You don't want to make assumptions. As a leader, you want to know your own style and know how you work with others. So it's a big topic, very much a favorite topic. We also do, another big one is advanced customer service. We talk a lot about how it's different in other cultures, and in our culture, what is expected. I take a couple days on that with a lot of examples of videos and how do you respond to people, and what is it about customer service that we expect in here in our work site. And so that's another one. Teaching and training employees. I just finished this for the third time, and it is fascinating. We talk about how as a supervisor, you got to train people. Well, how do you do that? How do you teach people? So we give a learning style assessment and talk about how you need to apply to kinesthetic learners, visual learners, auditory learners. And we talk about how you train employees in whatever career you're in. And then we have them go into groups, and they teach the class a topic. And we talk to them about, give us practice, make sure we know and we've learned what you're teaching, and follow the steps of a formal lesson plan. Have your objectives, follow a lesson plan. And if you do that as a supervisor, your employees will understand much more what it is they need to do. So that's our teaching and training. Networking, we do several things in networking. We do early on, we have them write an elevator speech and record it on Flipgrid. So we talk about how short an elevator speech is, but it's got to be something you're ready with for networking. Our students do an informational interview. I am so sold on that that's the one thing I would never take out of this. The informational interview is where they choose someone in a career they're interested in. We provide them with questions. We talk about interviewing, and then they will interview someone either in person or online. What's incredible is what comes out of these informational interviews. People are so happy to help, so happy to have someone asking them questions. And so often they keep in touch with our students. We find these people by our own connections. And that's where we start. We ask everybody at the Institute, do you know anybody in this field? Do you know anyone in that field? In fact, this class, I had an intern from the University of St. Thomas, and she said, hey, my sister works at an accounting firm. Let me ask her. And that's how we got an informational interview for a student in my class who has an accounting degree. It's just, and we talk about it all the time. This is networking. Who do you know? So the hardest part of the informational interview is helping them find people and calling all of your connections, but then they do it on their own. And at the end of the class, in fact, for us, it's next week, each student will give a presentation about their informational interview. What did they learn? Because you can't do any better than one-on-one. How do I break into this field? What did you do? What is your background? And it's a wonderful experience. This class, I had everyone make a LinkedIn. And we also do mock interviews. We have friends of the Institute who come in, professionals in different areas will come in and interview our students as in a practice job interview. I look at this class as a chance to make sure that our students are used to presenting, talking to people, getting comfortable with that. It's all about becoming a supervisor and having that confidence. So the more interviews they do, the one-on-one, the group presentation, the individual presentation, the better for them really in training. The other thing we do, financial coaching. We have financial coaches at the Institute. And what I love is they will talk to me before they come in and say, what do you think? Now you know your students. What do you think about their backgrounds? What do they need to know? So they start with budgeting, but the class I have now, they all said, we're pretty good on budgeting. So our financial coaches jumped into other topics. It was wonderful. They talk about credit score, credit cards, savings, checking, that kind of thing. Identity theft, which we all know is huge right now. So they will do a whole lesson on identity theft, financial goal setting. We have students who often say, I want to save for a house. I'm trying to send money back to my family. I'm trying to save for college for my children. So the financial goal setting is so important. We also offer one-on-one coaching sessions. So after our financial coaches come into the leadership class, they come in usually 3 times. Then they set up one-on-one with anyone who wants it. So right now they're doing something on if you're looking to save for a house and buy a house, here's how that works. And they will do an individual one-on-one counseling with our students on how buying a house works in the US. It's not easy. Couple other things that we didn't talk about or that I didn't put on here is we do a lesson on OSHA, on safety. Very important that they know the laws. You know, you worry about that. I also added legal and illegal interview questions and labor laws so that they understand what people can ask you in an interview, what they can't ask you. And that's really good prep too before we get to the resume. Because with the resume, they're used to CVs. And I have to undo the CV and say, take out all that personal information in your CV. Don't put your family in there. And I have them take out all of those things to put them into a resume that's appropriate for the US workplace. So this is a really good before we do the resume. What else? So yeah, labor laws, and then we do formal goal setting. And what I thought I would do now is just share with you my screen to show you what the curriculum looks like.
Kate,
so
there is one question that came up
yes.
in the chat from Susan Seaforth, and it is, what are your financial coaches qualifications?
You know, it's a good question. I don't know. We have usually 2 at one time, and now we have like 2.5. I'm not sure. I know them, but I've never asked them. It's a good question. When I started this program, we were online, so we've only been together since April. So I don't know what their qualifications are. We just hired someone, but we usually have 2 or 3. So I don't know. Sorry, I wish I could answer that. I'd like to share with you just a little bit about this curriculum so you can see what it is that we are offering. These are the lesson plans. And if you can, let me see if I can make this bigger. No, it's not getting bigger. Oh, there it is. These are the topics, and there are lessons on all of these. So workers' rights and OSHA. We do have a stress management, you can kind of look through here. This is all available for anyone who's interested. But every one of these is a lesson that I do. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 days of lessons, but you can see all of the topics. It's almost impossible when we made this presentation to put every topic in. There are so many. But this is available as well. These are all of our lessons with links to the what we are sharing. We share a lot. I'm really big on what's in the news, what's the latest. So if I'm going to tell them something about resumes, I will like to show them an article and have them read it as practice. I like to show them an article, talk about it with them as a, here's why we're doing this, and then we do it. The best example of that is when they write their resumes, we are off objectives. We are now writing summaries. I have an article that explains why summaries are the best thing and what they look like. And then I say, now we're going to take your resume that you already have. Many of them already have them, and we're going to redo them, and we're going to make them right at the latest. So if you look at my lessons, you'll see that many of them start with something, because I'm a newsaholic, and they'll start with something that's in the news that's recent to say, here, this is what you need. I really encourage them to do that. So whether it's workers' rights, yes.
Sorry, where are these? You've said a few times that these are available. Where are they located?
Well, I put them in the document, Christine, that you had given me. So Christine will have them. I'm not sure how you all get them, but I've downloaded all of them onto that document.
Okay. There's another question while I'm getting that.
Sure.
In the chat.
Okay, let's see. So it says, at the outset of your presentation, you outline the requirements, qualifications needed for admission to your program. If I remember correctly, the first item listed was being a new citizen immigrant. Have you considered admitting Native Americans to the program? Oh, I would love to. I'm not sure about how that works with our grants, but I would love to do that. Because to be honest, I have students who have been in this country for 10 years. 15 years. And I have students who've been in this country 1 year or less. So it never, to me, that doesn't matter. You can get something out of each one of these lessons. So I am very open to that. I would love that. It all has to do with funding is my guess, because we are the International Institute. I would think that would be a wonderful idea. I will take a look at that. All right, we can go back to the slideshow.
Okay.
Oh, Christine, thanks for putting that curriculum folder in. So more on our curriculum. We work a lot on digital literacy. People come, I've had students who already know Excel, and I've had students that I'm actually going, all right, here's, let's get better on email. Most of them know email, but boy, there are some other things. We do a lot on digital literacy. We use North Star digital literacy curriculum and assessments. And one of the things I love about that is that if the student is already proficient, then they don't have to do the lessons, and they don't have to even do my lessons. They can go ahead, take the assessment, show us that they are proficient. And what I do is tell them, I encourage them, if you are passing whatever assessments you pass, this is what you can put on your resume. You know Excel, you know Microsoft Suite, all of those things. So we use a lot with North Star. Sometimes I integrate it into whatever lesson I'm doing. Other times I just do it individually. For example, tomorrow I'm doing a lesson on digital literacy, digital footprint, so that they will take that assessment. So tomorrow I made the whole lesson on that, and they will end with the North Star digital literacy. Others are just embedded right in there. So scheduling and inventory is one of them. I wasn't sure when I saw that. I thought, oh, do I need to teach that? And already I've had a student just this session say, I need more help. I need more of what you did there, because she got actually a new job and promotion within the class and said she will be scheduling and she wants to know more about it. So we do a lot on just using the basics of Excel. Get used to it, understand the basics of it, because you as a supervisor will use it. The giving feedback is really interesting. Again, sometimes you really notice the cultural differences, because we talk about giving feedback and every culture is different on how they do that. So we do positive and negative feedback. How should a boss respond to employees? How do you do that? Then we use a Google Suite assignment, and that's where it's called Applied Digital Skills. All of that is in there, where they actually make up invitations using the computer, and then they give each other written feedback. So it's a really fun thing to do. I'm really trying to integrate digital literacy as often as I can. Professional writing skills, especially now in the group I have, was resumes and cover letters. And I will tell you, it's depending on the size of your class, it can be very difficult, because they come in, most of the students have resumes. If they don't, I give them all the tools and say, go write one. I'm not writing it for you, but I want to see it when you're done, and then I tweak it. And so that's pretty much in the leadership class. Everybody has some kind of resume and we go over it. It's a lot. It's a lot. Resumes and cover letters are a lot to teach. And I think that I have a lot of resources for you, because I've been doing this for many years and it takes a lot of resources. Especially because you're doing a resume for an engineer and then someone else is writing a resume. I had a student with a PhD in theater. That's going to be a different resume than my electrical engineer. It's just going to be different. The job search, we do internet safety, PowerPoint, Google Slides, research. We utilize a lot of websites that will help them with job search, but also career search. Let me see, I see something in the chat here. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is nice. Thank you. It is, I will say this, Paulina, I've taught this class. I was a high school teacher, K-12 high school teacher for 28 years as a work-based learning coordinator and a career teacher. And when I came here with adults, it was really different and fun. But I think that the usefulness of it is, everybody needs it. You know, my high school kids needed it, and so do adults, you know, for sure. And oh, I'm glad, Paulina, that's just great. So this is the kind of thing we do a lot of digital literacy, but like I said, I like to integrate it. I don't want to just do a lesson. For example, day one, I do a lesson on Google Docs, where I have them create a Google Doc and share it with each other and write on it so they can see how it works. But then after that, you got to use Google Docs, you know, and that's how we do it. So I'll do little lessons like that, and Google Slides, they moved right into it just fine. So I utilize a lot of North Star curriculum and help with that. And then I do require the assessments from North Star as well. It's good to check up and make sure. And then I tell them, you have those assessments, that goes on your resume. But if I got to see that in order for that to be an appropriate thing. All right, next slide. We'll talk about program benefits. These are some of our statistics. I have more anecdotal than this. This is, but it's, you know, average starting wage before the class was $15.94. 60% got a new job promotion or wage increase. And now the average wage 1 year after is $18.32. We keep track of our students. We talk to them frequently through email and see who's doing what. How are you doing? Have you gotten that promotion? The most exciting is when somebody gets a promotion, or like this time was a student that got a new job. She was not happy in what she was doing. And towards the end of the class, around the last 3 weeks, she went in for an interview. She said, I did all that interview prep in this class. I learned all of those, how to answer behavioral interview questions, how to get ready for these, how to answer, tell me about yourself. These details things are really I think we take for granted that this is very much a US thing. And so she said after she did all that, she walked in and she got a new job with a promotion, and it was very exciting. And so we do try to keep track, but to have someone do it in the middle class was the most fun. At this point, I can tell you 58% of our students work during class. 40%, 42% are not working, but get jobs afterwards. So they don't have to be, sometimes they're parents and they're in all different parts of life. So I try to see where they all are. Where are you? And one student's working overnight and another student is, they're working during the day. And this is why we offer the class at different times all year, and we also offer it online if they can't get here. We really try to reach as many people as we can. But if they're not working during the class, they stay with us, and we very much work with them to get that job, because that's why they're there. They want to learn in order to get the job. So the leadership pathway is the next one. Let's see, internship and college credits. So this is sort of an extra thing. This is what we do when they're finished with class. We believe, and we say this to each other all the time, you don't have to go to college to advance in your careers. It depends on the career. So we say we're open to anyone who wants to advance. When our students are finished with our course, some stay in the job they're in and look for a promotion. Some want to go to another job. Some want to go back to school. And so we work with everybody. We don't turn anybody away. And we try to make sure that everybody's getting what they need. So on the next slide, it'll talk about our internship program. This is all voluntary. The employment navigation is what we do with them after the class. And like I said, we've just hired someone additionally, which is very helpful, really, really nice. So the employment navigation is when we meet with them and say, what are your goals? Where are you? What do you need? If they need college, we help them get their college credits from their home country. We talk to them about how to get those credits. And then what do you want to do in this here? And so it all varies. We have a program at the Institute called College Readiness. And sometimes I refer our students to College Readiness. And sometimes they refer their College Readiness students right back and do the leadership class, because we're all just kind of sharing and what do you need. We have an optional internship program. It's 3 months paid, and it is cross-training in the hospitality industry. We do it with TPI. TPI is a hiring firm for hospitality jobs with many, many types of hotels and places. So if we have a student living in New Brighton and they say, I want to do the internship, we try to find that hotel in New Brighton. And then the cross training in that is, we don't want you to go off and work one job. This mentorship, this internship means you will have 2 weeks at each job. Like any manager has to know all the jobs. That's part of this internship. And the hotels agree to it, and it's a fascinating thing to watch. I learn a lot as well. And so that's what our internship is. Again, it's optional. And when the internship's over, they can say, I want to stay, I want a job in this. We help them do that, whatever they need. It's relatively new, but we're having fun with it. The other thing with the Minneapolis Community and Technical College, if they do the internship, they can also get 3 college classes for business. They can test out. So basically in the internship, they have to be working with their mentor, and they know this, the mentor knows this, to learn about things they learn on their own, and they can test out of some business classes at the Minneapolis Community and Technical College. So all of this is optional, because one of the things I love about teaching this class the most is that we have everybody. We have people at all different parts of life. So we have people who are single, people who are parents, they're divorced, they're getting a divorce, wherever they are. Some are people in their 50s saying, I need to change. Will you help me change? And then we have people in their 20s. It's just for me, it's different every time I teach the class, which I love. I just love it. So I see that you've shown that. I'm going to, I think I'll share my screen if that's okay. And let's see if I can do that. I can try to share this one because this is a little bit about our pathway. And we wanted to make sure people understood that this is the way it is. It's a pre-college connection point. It's a 1-semester course. As we've talked about, these are the competencies. But what's exciting is afterwards, we're not done. We don't say you're gone. We really love to be able to say, now what's right for you? Do you want Minneapolis College business programs? Do you want TPI internship? What do you want? We have so many connections and so many different things. And I encourage you, it is also, you'll have the document there. I encourage you to take a look at this because it's growing and changing all the time. As we find students with the different needs, we go, oh, maybe this will be better. And that's why we're changing this. In addition to my favorite thing is having different students all the time with different needs, it is this afterwards, what are they going to do? How exciting is that? And that's the part to me that is really, really challenging and fun. So let's see, I'll stop sharing and we'll talk about what students report. This is a student, Rosemary. She actually keeps a blog and we will put that in there if you would like it. I can show it to you, but she says, you just have to believe in yourself, try to find the right tools and the right information and the right people to get there. That's what I want to show people. And that's what we love. We have had panels of former students who will come back and talk to our students. I think that's probably one of the highlights for our students is to meet people and they say, let me tell you what I did. I took the leadership class, then I did this. That's what and they tell their personal stories to our students. And that I think is the most exciting. So we try to have people come in. We have people from Minneapolis College come in. We have TPI come in. I try to show different people because everyone has a different goal and what they want to do. So we have Rosemary who writes a blog and she came in to meet with our students. But I'll tell you on a personal level, one of the best things that I didn't expect and that I have found with this class is the community. Our students get very close with each other. And I love that. So because they're in group projects and things like that, they're emailing each other, they're texting each other, and they help each other. Last winter, I had a class that was larger. I wasn't, it was 14 people, was a lot, especially doing resumes. And you would not believe the camaraderie they had. That class would be over and I'd say, okay, class is over. And they'd say, can we stay and talk? Of course you can. How wonderful is that? It is a chance to meet people in a similar situation that you're in, or that you can network with them. I had a graphic designer at Target who was the one designing all of the different arrangements in the store downtown Minneapolis. And she was connecting to someone else who said, I'd like to do something like that. How did you do that? So not only are we having outsiders in, but our own students share. They all share where they are and what they're doing. And that, to me, that community is worth so much. And it's something I didn't think about and I didn't expect. But that's why I think having former students come back is so valuable, because it just reinforces all of that community. And I just think it's wonderful. So let's see, I want to not talk too much. I know I'm talking a lot. I was asked to share anecdotes and I said, I could do that all day. I'm the one who just talks to people all the time about how incredible our students are. And don't assume that Uber driver that was the career that this person has. You can assume your Uber driver could very well be an engineer, an accountant, a lawyer. You don't know. And because when I meet them, that's sometimes what they're doing. And then through the information interview, through some of our employment navigation, through practice and interviewing, all the networking that they learn, we hope that they will get to where they want to be. And if they're happy doing what they're doing, great. But if they want more, we want them to know that there are possibilities here. So the last slide is just simply Thank you. And Lynn's information is on there because she is the supervisor of our program, and she'll pass it on to me as well. But I wanted to share, if I could, a little bit about our class. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'll show you what it looks like on our website. So we are under hospitality careers pathway, and this is called the professional leadership training. So this is a really nice thing to look at if you're wondering. See, that is the list of things that we teach. There is a video on here about our class. It talks about student eligibility, and in here it says must have, or have worked in the US for 6 months, but I'm honest with you, we're not holding to that. We're really not. We've had students that worked at their own embassies, and they come here and they can't do anything yet, take our class, and then gone off into nonprofits. So just because they didn't work in this country, we aren't considering that anymore as a must. These are the classes that we're coming on next, is September 20th to December 9th. Then we do one end of January, and we'll do them all throughout the year. This fall, the classes are, 9 to 12. I never remember when my classes are. And this one is Yosmary's blog, which you're welcome to look at as well. All of this is on our site at the International Institute of Minnesota. And that's Yosmary right there. So I wanted to make sure that you all could see this and kind of get a look at that. I'll stop sharing now, and I'll see if anybody has questions. I now want to find out what we do with our financial coaches. How do they have that background? I'm really interested in that. I, for some reason, never thought about it. So that's a good one.
Yeah, we have a few minutes here. So if anyone has any questions, I also put the contact information for Lynn and the link to the International Institute of Minnesota site. So I encourage you to go see the video.
Please, yes. I can show it if you want, Christina.
We have just about a minute.
Yeah, we won't have time, but I do encourage you to do that. I encourage you to contact Lynn, contact me for sure, because this is something that is, I mean, I've been doing this for a year, and people say, what do you think? And I say, I'm never leaving. It is the most fun because it's different every time I do it, and new people, and it's so challenging, and I've learned so much. So I just love it.
Would you put your email?
Absolutely.
In the chat?
Absolutely. Yep, I can answer questions about the curriculum because that's what I wrote. I took it, we had it already, and then I've been readjusting it in the last year. So I had a curriculum and it was great, but you know how it is when you teach it, you have to make it yours. So I made it mine and I change it all the time. So, but I would be happy to talk to anyone who'd be interested in looking at that.
Okay, well, I agree with Jennifer Johnson's comment. A great presentation, very inspiring, and I love I love this idea that, you know, our students, we don't know what they want to do, how far they want to go. They may not know at a particular time, but skills like this are always going to come in handy for students, and I love that. And I really encourage everyone, you know, to check out those the great lesson plans, to go to the International Institute website, check things out, reach out to Kate or Lynn with more questions.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. And if you have ideas, give them to me, because I've always want to tweak things and make them better. And as we do for our students, right? Whoever's in front of us, what do they need? You know, that's what this is. So thank you so much. Oh, look, I specialize in working with students who are in pre-college level courses. Yep. We do a lot with cross. Yeah.
Just as a reminder, there's a 15-minute break now before the next session, and that will begin at 2:15. I'll stay on for a few minutes in case there are Any questions, or in case you have a quick question that you'd like to unmute and ask Kate directly?
Yes, Paulina, that would be fine. We'd love it. It's, everything is free, and the more the merrier is the way I look at it. So please go ahead, put my information on there, put Lynn's. Yeah, they don't know it exists, Paulina, and we get more referrals from students telling their friends than anything else. I think it's just something we haven't thought about doing, like as such a need. It is such a need. We have so many people in this situation. So please, Paulina, I appreciate it. And that's the reason we make it all different times, is so that we can get everybody. It's really hard. So my class sizes change all the time, depending on what time of year it is, who's free.
You do have a question.
There's a question about, how do students apply? Do they apply to this program? Is it a guaranteed admittance? How do students get involved?
It's a guaranteed admittance as long as they are not born in this country. Because like I said, I have people who've been here 20 years, and I have people who've been here a year. So really that's it. And their English level, if they have a lower English than a level 6, we say you're welcome to take the course and get from it what you will. I'm not turning anyone away. So I have had students who leave my class and actually go back to an English class, and that's fine, because if you're there trying to get something, why would I say no? So the way they do it is on the website, they can send an email to Lynn or to me, and then we meet with them on Zoom for just a little bit, asking them specific questions. Because we're grant funded, we have to ask them very specific questions to report, and then they're in. So the only qualifications, really, you have to be an adult, and you have to be foreign born and want to learn about the workplace in the US. So have them look at the website or email, because Lynn and I do that all the time. We're always emailing students and talking with them, and we keep a running list of who wants to do it.
Well, I am going to need to close out because I need to be at another session. So again, if you'd like to save the chat to make sure you have that contact information, you can click on the 3 little dots in your chat box to save the chat. Otherwise, I know, Kate, we need to get this up into Sched, the slide deck, and I will email you about that, both you and Lynn.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we were just, as you know, I sort of jumped in and used her PowerPoint, but because I teach the class, it makes sense.
Oh, sure.
But I just wanted to make sure you got I put our curriculum on there and everything else, so anything you need, let me know.
Thank you so much for sharing. And it was a great presentation. Lots of really happy people.
Good, thank you. Good. That was wonderful. Thanks. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to close this out, and thank you, Amber, and thank you so much,